enjoying our party. So just we'll give it 2 more minutes. Meanwhile, anyone can किसी को अच्छा भजन आता है तो you can spell out गणपति दादा को कुछ रखना आज तो गणेश जी स्तुति भी if someone knows it can be done. Anyone? गणेश स्तुति anyone knows? श्री गणेश बोलते हैं ना. It's a coincidence that 19th September is ये गणेश चतुर्थी है. So I think सबने लड्डू तो खाए होंगे आज. So I think everybody have joined through the laptop, and also probably you have a pen and pencil or pen and ball pen with you. You have also probably joined in your own groups. So I request all of you to pray Almighty that He should be with us during the course, and inspiration will be from within, and the whole course is definitely towards realization of the soul. That's the ultimate objective of this course, because the epidemiology or statistics and the research, etc., if you see what is the purpose, and if someone says this is the purpose, then we first ask us what is the purpose, why, so what, then ultimately answer will be to have an eternal joy, eternal peace, like that. So we'll start with one the party which people did, and we'll try to analyze that the result of that party, and then we'll start our basics of the epidemiology, statistics, research method, etc. Why we have combined these two things, because people are expert in statistics, expert in research, expert in epidemiology, but may not know each other's field, and then there is a problem. So because of that, we started this course somewhere around more than 2 decades ago, and then we found that it is useful. And because of COVID, for 2 years we could not get offline, so we thought let's go for online, and so we are online right now. Very quick introduction. Myself, Dr. Rajesh Mehta. I have done my MBBS at Baroda and MD at Surat, and from the both colleges, Baroda Medical College, this was a very good knowledge of statistics they were imparting. Same with the Surat also. Regularly, we used to have a journal club every week, and all the teachers, PGs, etc., used to present one journal every week. So you have the knowledge of statistical method, research method every week from around 15-20 research papers. So those who are having a writing skill or having a pen and paper must write down that you should start weekly journal reading with concrete feedback, evaluation, criticism, etc. There is not a single research in the whole world where you cannot critique upon it. There is nothing like 100% ideal research. So that kind of thing should be there. And that is one of the reasons why we have divided into small groups for churning and discussion, etc. So now let me start with the party. I will show you the data. 75 people went to a party, and then they took various kinds of food. I will share it with you. This is the data of the party. Very interesting. And I have shared the data in the group also. And most of you know Excel. I don't know, any one of you don't know about Excel. I hope you can see this data, right? So, you can see that there were 75 people who went to the party. You can see the data, right? We have not named the patient because of anonymous ethical reasons. And the age is also written, sex is written, and illness, whether they felt sick or not. 0, 1. 0 means no sickness, 1 means sickness. And we have food habits, whether they have taken spinach or mashed potato or rose, like this. They have taken so many things: milk, coffee, water, cakes, vanilla, fruit salad, etc. Now, in your notebook, you should try to see that out of these substances, which could be the substance which caused the illness. There was a food poisoning, right? So, and we have this data. So you can write down rose, coffee, water, whatever you want to write down. And so we'll try to analyze with software epiinfo. If you go directly for analysis, you will find out the frequency of each one. Then you will compare between the sickness and no sickness, and then we'll come to the result. Now, I hope, see, we'll be going very slowly. Everybody understands that there is this data is related to the party. And 75 people attended that, and the data are, suppose it is added in the Excel file, which all of you know. And now we would try to analyze this data. I'm closing this file and we'll be switching over to the epiinfo software. Now, before I go for epiinfo software, all of you need to, even your mic is off, you need to spell out, when I say that epidemiology is, then you should complete that is very easy and interesting. When I say that epidemiology is, you should respond with very easy and interesting. Or you can even open up your mic also, no problem. That will, at least few of you can open up mic. I repeat, epidemiology is, at least few of
Interesting.
you.
Very easy and interesting.
Very easy and interesting. Very easy and interesting. You should spell out that epidemiology is
Very easy
very
and
easy and
Very
interesting.
easy and interesting.
Yes,
Very easy and interesting.
The same.
Very easy and interesting.
I spell out again when I say statistic, same you should say very easy and interesting. Statistic is
very easy and interesting.
Very easy and
Very easy and
Very easy
interesting.
and interesting.
And you will see that once you know both of this, epidemiology and statistics, there is no need to learn about research methods because it covers almost all the research methods except very few one. So here our course is designed for giving basic knowledge, right? So now we'll be going for epiinfo. Before I go for epiinfo, let me tell you, I hope you have understood about this party data, 75%, and the male or female, some illness, no illness, water taken, not taken, milk taken. These are the data, right? So let's go for epiinfo. And I hope most of you have installed the epiinfo software. If you could not do it, tomorrow anytime between 11 to 5, you can request. I have shared you a number of Hitesh Bhai. I will again share for those who joined today. So you need to contact Hitesh Bhai. He will give you a support of TeamViewer and will install epiinfo software in your computer. I will again share that. Now, epiinfo software is extremely easy, prepared by WHO. I learned this software in 1989 by reading very few papers which was written by my colleague, Dr. Sridhar, is a pediatrician. And he gave me a very note of maybe around 5-6 pages. In a train, I read that, I learned that, and then onward, I started learning it and teaching others. So starting epiinfo after installation is as easy as any software. So it has a 6 component. Very easy to understand. But then we are not going to learn all these 6 components. How to create a form is very simple. Automatic forms are already there. And if you are having a pad and pen with you, you should write down epiinfo is a program generator. I repeat, epiinfo is a program generator. You did not have knowledge of programming. And you will see that within no time, within 1 month, you'll be able to write programs with epiinfo. That means you can create your own forms much better than Google Forms. You can enter the data and then you can analyze the data. So this is to create a form. This is for entering the data. And this is for analyzing the data. And Visual Dashboard is basically to manage your so many projects, programs, and reports, etc. So in this course, we are going to learn how to create the forms, how to enter the data, how to analyze the data. These 3 things we are going to learn. A little bit about StatCalc because it is very easy to calculate sample size, which is most tedious to calculate by self. And when you calculate the sample size, we'll talk about very interesting thing about beta errors. When a medical representative comes to a doctor, we'll say that, doctor, this molecule was costing 150 rupees. We have found new molecule, just 15 rupees, and so effective as other drugs. And then says, oh, wonderful, P is less than 0.001. But he is talking about alpha error. But doctor do not have a knowledge of beta error and doesn't ask about beta error. So what happens? That they believe that there is no significant difference between 2 medicines. Let's go for cheaper medicines. But in that case, the person doesn't talk about beta error. And that's the problem. We don't understand beta error. We accept the things based on just alpha error and go ahead the things. So that is also important. So instead, when you calculate the sample size, you also need to adjust the beta error, how much you would like to have. So directly now already the form was there. People enter the data. We have 75 data together. Now, if the same data, similar data you have in the Excel, also you can directly analyze with this. So I'm starting with classic in epiinfo. So now you know how to open the epiinfo and you can just do it. You know how to close also epiinfo. This is the closing. So I hope everybody now knows how to open the epiinfo, how to close the epiinfo. Now the next stage, we'll learn how to use the analysis, right? I opened it. I'm opening the classic. That means way of analysis. It was used in past. Similarly, same thing will come over here. Now, let's go for first thing. What you do when you do the analysis, you need to talk to the epiinfo, read the file. So I will just press the read. And the most difficult thing is in epiinfo is choosing the file. So you should know which kind of file is there and where it is located. So right now, my file is not epiinfo style. My file is XLS. So I'm choosing the XLS file. That means Excel file I'm choosing. And then browse, again browse, where is your file is asking. I'm giving a location that it is in the desktop in session 1 and is a party. So I'm showing this file and I'm selecting this file. And first row contains header information. Most of the time, the mistake is over here. People do the very flavoring and coloring and the merging, etc. No, if you want to analyze your data with Excel file, it should not be a colorful or something like merging and something, two things together. There should be a clear-cut variable should be written over at the top header. And that's why I ask first row contains header information. So that will not be considering in the analysis. So I say, okay, I'll be repeating this exercise so many times. So this is just the beginning. Don't get afraid. You will see the result soon. Just like Ganpati Dada Prasad Laddu. So Laddu is going to be here soon. Now this 75 people are selected, and next command we are giving a frequency. When we select the frequency, automatically it says star. Star means all the variables. If instead of star, if I select only one variable, how many took fruit salad, and if I say okay, then it will give frequency of fruit salad. 6 people took fruit salad, 69 people didn't took fruit salad, something like this. Or instead of that, if I go for star, it automatically gives a frequency for everything. All the frequency within no second is there with you. This is how it gives you speedy results, epiinfo software. The male-female ratio, the sickness, right? How many percent are having sickness? Write in chat box. How many percent of the people out of 75, I repeat, how many percent are having a disease, that is illness? So it is 61.3%. Similarly, other foods, spinach, mashed potato, cabbage, it gives everything to in no time. But then what we wanted, why people felt sick? For that, there's another command is known as tables. And tables command exposure variable for you want to say the chocolate versus outcome variable is illness. When you compare these two tables, when you say, okay, it gives you a result, a comparison between chocolate and illness. So now, before I go to an interpretation of this, let me ask questions. Any one of you can answer that. Do you like chocolate? Anyone?
Yes.
Okay. Now see what happens. Whether chocolate is protective or harmful. In a very this small study, we'll come to know. Those who have taken a chocolate, the illness is 1. That is 53.19% were sick. Those who took a chocolate. And those who didn't took chocolate, 74% became the sick, did not take, right? So by taking chocolate, you reduce to something like 21% reduction in illness by taking chocolate. This is what it says. You need not consider this as a message. Don't try to take more chocolate because of this. This is a very small study and we are talking about study. And when we look at the p-value, we'll find out what is the p-value, etc. We'll be talking about the same. P-value says that it is 0.07, that means more than 0.05, and that means it is not significant even though it's so many percentage. Now, this p-value will go into detail, but right now on paper you write down that p means probability of event occurring by chance. Open up your mic, repeat the words which I say. P means
Probability of
Probably.
an event happening
Of
by
an
chance.
event.
Probability of event
No.
happening by chance.
Only repeat my words, not a full sentence, because this is a very, very important thing. P means
P means
He means
probability of
event
event
by chance.
By
chance.
happening by chance.
So now you close your mics. So P is a probability of event occurring by chance. So event occurs because of two things. Randomly occurs because of unknown effects and because of some reason. Now, all of you have, if you have a pencil, you can try to drop your pencil maybe around from height of around only 3 or 4 inches, and you drop the pencil, and you will see that every time it doesn't hit the same point, it varies. Even though you are the person, same environment, same temperature, same time, even then it will deviate maybe 1 millimeter, 2 millimeter like that. And that distance, that much is by chance. But when you are dropping the pencil and somebody slaps your hand, then it will go around maybe around 1 foot or 2 feet away. So that is a significantly, it is not in that by chance zone. So the p-value is a probability of event occurring by chance less than 0.05. That means, see, the probability talks about 1 and percent talks about 100. So when you say that 50%, that means half. In probability, we talk 0.5. This you must write down in your notebook, even if you know it, because on a longer run, it will be very useful. When you say 0.5 probability, that means 50%. When you say 0.05 probability, that means 5%. 5% means 1 out of 20. So when the probability is less than 0.05, means less than 5%, we say that mostly it would have occurred by some reason and not by chance. So when P is less than 0.05, we call it as a significant. And this topic we are going to go in detail while we talk about the normal distribution curve. Now look at the data now. Other data we'll find out. Tables. And if you think that, no, it could be a milk which might have produced, we compare with the milk and the illness. And let's see what happens. So here, I will show you the data that illness, milk, if milk is taken, only 4 people took, 50% sick, and not taken 61% sick. So do you think that this is significant or not? If you think this is a by chance, write by chance in chat box. If you think it is significant, write significant in chat box based on your assumption, whether this 61% and 50% are significant or not. Let's see your response. Either you write by chance or write significant. I think most of you should respond. That will be an interactive thing. Yes, you are correct. It is by chance. And let us look at this reason analysis. The p-value 0.63. That means there are 63% chances that this is because of some by chance and there is no reason. We'll be also talking about risk ratio and odds ratio, etc., but not at this juncture. So this is not the case. So let us go for other thing. Yes, at least 1 or 2 person, maybe group for 1 and 2 can open up your mic and say, do you like vanilla? Yes or no? Vanilla.
Yes, sir.
Let's see if vanilla is related with this or not. So this is a result of vanilla. Those who took a vanilla, 43%, 79.63, they almost 80% became sick. Those who took vanilla. Those who didn't took, only 14%. So what do you think? By chance or some reason has to be there significant? 1 or 2% write in the chat box. Is it significant or by chance? This one difference. 14% versus 79%. Yes, it's significant. Yes. Very, very good. Very good. Dr. Banerjee and all those. So wonderful. And let's see the p-value. Yeah, or less than 0.00001. Oh, it's highly unlikely that it is because of some reason. So if you are going to take vanilla, mostly you are likely to have the disease. And if you look at the odds ratio, it's almost 23, highly probable. If you look at the risk ratio, 4 times, averaging epiinfo gives you in no time. Now, see, there are so many things, one by one table going. Instead of that, why not to go for the thing, 4, 5 things together? Should we do that? Okay. Let me go for this logistic regression analysis. An outcome variable is an illness, right? And there could be 4, 5 together. So let's go for chocolate, then you go for cabbage, and then you go for milk, or it may be because of gender problems. So let's go for male, female, and then go for the vanilla. And one more thing, let's go for the potato. Yeah, fruit salad should also be there, somebody says. Okay, let's fruit salad. So I hope that you know that what I'm doing. I'm going for logistic regression, very simple, because I want to take a multiple things together. It's also known as multivariate analysis. Very interesting, very easy, and all of you will be able to do right now also, but I will not do it today. Over a period of time, we are going to do. So outcome variables illness, okay? And then we are taking around 6 variables together. So which one is more important? And just say, okay, epiinfo, do your work, and epiinfo will do it sincerely. Not like human being that will do it today or not to do it, something like that. So I repeat, logistic regression, illness, and I'll take a little bit less variable at a stretch. Record depend variable to be numeric. Okay. We need to change a bit. This is we'll go back to our epiinfo file. We'll need to import it and then we'll go in that. This file you will get in sample. Yes, this is a sample file. And in that, there is some error in epiinfo software. It will get corrected. This I am repeating because you need to locate your file. And if it happens, then you need to uninstall and install again. I will not do that right now to save the time, but we'll try again. We'll go to the classic, read the file. We'll take it later on because we need to set the path, etc. But then for time being, let's so we'll take it the how to change the path we'll take later on, but then at least we know this command. I repeat, just Excel file. Then we go for the party file. So selecting the file and then selecting the seat. Okay. 75 selected, and repeat only one command, tables. And then we let us see for whether this gender is affecting illness or not. The exposure variable is sex and outcome is illness. And we look at this. So this table command, you can try it out at your level tomorrow or day after tomorrow. This is how it will look like. So here also p-value is 0.40, and that means it is not significant, although we can see the difference over here. So now next, after the epiinfo session, the selection of the various files, why it not happening, tomorrow I will let you know how to select the path and then go for the further analysis. Now we go for the purpose of this. So today, your exercise you need to do is install the epiinfo or tomorrow, and then you need to know how to read the file and then how to do the frequency and table. These three commands will repeat tomorrow also. Now, how about this program? Our goal is the complex system which is going on, the political or social, etc. together. We have so many systems operating right now, Ayurveda, homeopathy, naturopathy, etc., etc. And people say my path is good, my path is good. And there's so many variables also. So what we want to do that, we are planning to have a single big database system in which you can have a lot of variables, input variable, output variable, and then you try to analyze. That is what our objective is. The method would be each component will work together, whether it's a sample size, whether it's an epidemiology, whether it's a research, etc. So one by one we'll be talking about a real life case. So all of you will be doing analysis on your own files. And with that experience in a group of 5, you will be disseminating yourself that whether you could do it or not, and giving input to each other. And this epiinfo software, what happens that it is the most important thing is selecting of the file. Once you're able to select the file, further analysis is much easier. Now, you should keep your data set on hand so that we can do the analysis. Everything you know, the course content will be all the 3 things. And now this diagnostic pathway is the most difficult part for the student to find out whether to go for standard error of difference between 2 proportion or to go for standard between 2 mean. All this becomes simplified because we are going to use only 2 variables initially. One is one variable in which you can find out a mean, other variable from which you find out the proportion. Based on that, you are going to use the command means or tables. And then at some point of time, before we close the session, last session after 1 month, all of you will be encouraged to write a project proposal and a dummy table or actual table you should be able to find out based on the 10% which you're going to teach. I encourage that all of you try to teach further the 10 people so that it becomes easier for you to understand. And the certificate will be given by People's Health and Development Trust, which is a 22 years old organization, registered organization under the Charity Commissioner. Now, a little bit about the groupings. Why I have formed a group, just quickly, the first group will be talking about, they will do the analysis, which kind of this group is there. And based on that, they may be redistributing the group for the purpose of learning. Right now, we are going ahead with these groups. So group 1 will read the data, what kind of people are there, how we can mutually encourage people to transfer the knowledge, etc. Second group will distribute the countries. Some of you will be taking Canada, others will be USA or different state, UP or Maharashtra, etc., or district within yourself. And then there will be very easy for ecological comparison. And because ultimately we are going to a multi-centric research study, whereby the effect of the place, or you say the compounding variable effect of place as a compound variable can be removed. And it will have much more power to talk about the area rather than only one place you are doing the thing and then going ahead. So second group will be helping for that. The third group will be, because we are going to have a small booklet at the end of this course, whereby you can give this material to others. So we are going to use an educational platform, our own, and we are testing it. Maybe 4 or 5 people may help us to test that. We are going to, those who will register in the educational platform, I have given a link to them, will automatically give them access to this course, whereby you can access the videos in PDF, everything, and so that you can share with your friends further. And the fourth group will be compiling the ebook, and fifth group will talk about how we can take these ideas further. For example, you are a professor, then how to make it simple and take a knowledge to the students. The sixth group, they will not be remaining over here. They might go for the advanced statistics advances. And they will connect to the best teachers of the world. They will find out who are the best teachers. They will connect to them and bring down their expenses over here. Seventh group will be finding out for us where are the CSR fund, where are the funding agencies. There are more than 2,000 funding agencies who are ready to fund in India. So government schemes or central government schemes, everything together. And there are already organizations who are ready to pay thousands of rupees for just simple analysis. Then eighth group will be talking about the innovation ideas, etc. Then ninth group will find out the evaluation of the course. They will evaluate. For example, session 1, we could not do the advanced analysis by epiinfo. That's the evaluation. Or the voice was not proper. Or at the end of the session, people could not learn what they want to learn. So they will be evaluating over a period of time, group number 9. And the 10th group, they will try to connect how this method can be utilized for the purpose of life. An individual is there. I'm at a particular stage, and over a period of time, 1 month, 2 months, 5 months, whether I'm progressing well or not, how to evaluate that kind of thing with epidemiology and statistics. Although the epidemiology is based on the population, but then statistics are also based on the population usually. But then that the world population is not a number of individuals, is a number of observation. So within a single person, there could be thousands of observation. So we need to remove the myth that population means not the people, but it's the collections of the observations. And the One Health concept, the 11th group 51 to 55, they will try to collaborate with the various branch. Suppose the statistics students, medical students, engineering students together, they will find out how to collaborate with each other and how to enrich each other. And last group will cover the points which will not cover. So this is why we have a groups, and then we'll switch over to another area. Before that, I will stop for 1 or 2 minutes. If anyone have interim questions, that we can take now, and then we'll be going to a very important concept of deviations. Anyone want to ask some question?
Sir, can you please elaborate the main purpose of the group which has been allotted to roll number 46 to 50, finding the purpose of life and
So,
comparing the current status with ultimate status? Exactly what does it mean?
I will give you very simple things. Probably you want to suppose find out how much happy you are right now. So if you let's say we have a score of 1 to 100, how much score you will allocate to your happiness right now?
Okay, say 80.
80, right? So suppose daily you want to score that morning and evening 2 times, and then for 1 month, then you will be able to see the up and down. Then there may be a financial crisis, there may be illness, there will be so many other things. So along with happiness, your own nature, you have become angry today or not? You are generous today or not? Your hunger, how is your hunger? How is your sleep? So many variables, right? Some of the variables, it all depends on your individual. What is the ultimate goal of your life? Once you set that, then you need to find out whether I'm going to that path or not. And how quantum jump, is there a quantum jump, or is it gradual ups or downs, where you're going? So if you can define your 10 or 15 meters within yourself, and you take it over a period of time, 1 month, 3 months, like that, then you will be able to generate the data, and then you will be able to analyze that data also. And same data you can task for other people also, and that will be a meta-analysis. And together, if you do the further analysis, we'll be able to find out that on the day where you are helping someone else, you are more happy. Whether this is true or not, we'll be able to find out. And gradually, introspection will lead to the divinity, whether you are going there or not. But that is a personal matter. So personal progress can also be measured with epidemiology and the statistics. The reason is, the definition of epidemiology says that it is 2 things: distribution and determinants. For what? If I say that epidemiology of headache, can we use this word, epidemiology of headache? What do you think? Sir, I'm asking questions.
All the factors which can lead to headache, all the epidemiological factors say the environment is not conducive. It is, noise and
I want
No.
to use only this word, epidemiology of headache.
No.
So
no, exactly.
okay.
It doesn't carry any meaning.
Can I use the word epidemiology of diabetes?
Yes.
So it is
Okay.
equally true that if we can find out, if we can study about the epidemiology of diabetes, we can very well study of epidemiology of headache also. So basically the difference says that distribution and determinants of disease or health related events. Now headache is a health related word. Even you can study the epidemiology of black or white hair. You can also do the study of epidemiology of some kind of behavior. It is not that initially when we started, we used to study only the infectious disease. Then we included NCD, and now we're including the health events also. Only thing, when you want to study about the epidemic headache, you need to define headache, define the headache, how long or how frequently, how severe, all those things you should correct, because when you study the epidemiology, the definition is very, very important. You need to define the condition or the disease. Then only you can study the epidemiology. So the distribution and determinants. So this is possible. So in your personal life, you want to study your particular behavior or your particular the progress, that also is possible to extend the learning of epidemiology and statistics together for personal gain also. So that's why I say this is possible. So all of you will be finding out the parameters which is related to the individual and then progress over a period of time. We'll take this later on again. So I think little bit you might be clear about it.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, any other question? So, in between you can also ask, this is not only a unit acceleration. Now, measure dispersion of variables. This is a fundamental to a normal distribution curve. Now, if you want to make the thing is very easy, then first and foremost thing you should understand that normal curve is the not normal. Instead of the word normal curve, if you use the word usual curve, the things become easier. Very easy. And if you remove the word, such words, no, that P less than P more than, etc. Instead of that, if you use the word probability or use the word percentage of the chances, then the things become easier. But anyway, now the word, the central tense is very, very important, but so simple. That's why we are not going to talk much about it. But yes, just remember that if you are going to take height of 1,000 people, weight of 1,000 people, or if you want to measure the diameter of the RBCs, etc. So whenever you do any variables or where you can measure it naturally in your life, in biological times, very few people are on the farther range. Let's say if you measure 1,000 people's height, hardly anyone will be 100 feet tall or only 1 inch short, right? So what happens that most of the people, they move around the mean or central, they will be there. So in that case, if you really do the exercise, take a measurement of 100 people. If you are not able to take any measurement of even 50 people and you plot a graph, then you will get the right kind of distribution around the centers. And this is various kinds of observation are there. In first, if you see, it is perfectly dispersed around, but the same mean. If you look on talk only of the mean, observation could be dispersed, and it will be like this also. In all the three cases, mean is same, but the dispersion is different. So the distance from the mean, that is very important, and that's why we don't take compare only mean, but we take dispersion also, and that could be the range, minimum, maximum, or it could be a variance, or it could be a standard deviation or coefficient of variance. So in this case, this is the quartile range. We need not talk about it. Is this also very simple one? Range is simple, minimum to maximum. So we need not go much about it. Range, standard deviation. Now this word, if you get convinced about the standard deviation, what is that? Then automatically you will know about the standard error, and then you will know about the Z. You will also know about the p-value. Everything is based on understanding of standard deviation. The usual question is, why we don't go for the mean of the deviations? Why we go for the standard deviation? Now, this standard deviation, just imagine that from your own house, 10 friends are staying at a different location. And if you find out the distance, that will be the absolute value. But if you go for the opposite direction, you will have negative value also. So when you are going for a mean deviation, when you are making a total of deviations, plus and minus sign will remove the effect of each other. And ultimately, when you go for mean of the deviations, that time you will not get right kind of the mean, or variations or deviations you will not be able to get correct, because the plus and minus signs removes the effect of each other. So that means if you go for a square of the variations, square of the deviations, or what is the distance between your house and other house, if you remove the positive and negative sign, then automatically that effect of positive or negative will go away. And then you will be able to have the real standard deviation. Sometimes people say that I remove the negative and positive and I just make a test. I take the absolute value and then make a the divide by the total number of variations. Suppose from your house, 10 people are staying either here or there, and those distance you make a total of it, absolute value, and divide it by 10, then you will get the right thing. Why we should not go for that, and why we should go for standard deviation? Because when you square the deviations and then when you divide by the number of deviations and take a root of it, it always gives you standard value. That is the reason why we take standard deviation. So it should be very much clear in your mind that if you want to get a standard deviation, you need to do the x minus x bar, that means distance, make a square of it, so that you remove the effect and make it more standard, and then divide by total numbers, take in the root, and that will give you the standard. And this curve, instead of you talking about the normal curve, if you use the word, usually this is a curve which we get. Now here, I would like to spend some time, because this is a basis of p-value, and this is a basis of standard deviation, standard, everything is based on this. So tomorrow, or maybe after 2-3 days, because tomorrow will also again repeat some of the things, so that you should try to build up a database whereby on x-axis you take some kind of variables like height, weight, or let's say hemoglobin level, etc. On y-axis, you try to take something like number of people. Let's say take 100 sample. And then if you make a column, for spacing, let's say weight you are taking from 50 kg to say 70 kg. At every 2 kg, you try to do how many people are there. So what will happen in case of weight of adult, let's say of male we are taking 100 male. So very few people will have the weight 30 kg. Very few people will have weight 130 kg. So at the extremes, automatically the column slows down. And at the middle level, most of the people will range between 50 to 60 kg. So the taller the middle of the portion is corresponding to the maximum number of people. So if you just remember that total area under the curve is 100%. Or if you want to write down, you should write down total area under the curve is 100%, as well as in probabilities is 1. So you should write down that total area under the curve is 100% or 1. People will say that why we are taking 1, why not 100%? The reason is it is to be applicable to all the things. Like in weight, there is a kg. In distance, there is a meter. Similarly, in a statistics, we use this standard normal distribution curve as a unit. And that's why even if there are 1 lakh population, we say that 1 unit population, so that it can be applicable to any situation. So here you should write down that 100% is equal to 1. 34% means 0.34. You can see at the end 2.14, 2.14. suppose approximately it's a 2.5, then total will be 5%. So less than 5% means they are beyond the usual group. Usually we have 95% people within the group. When it goes beyond, we say that it is less than 5%. Now, this will be understanding again sometimes, but just remember that when we say that the person is not belonging to the group because of the reason of 2.14 or 2.14%, at that time we are committing some kind of mistake. And that is alpha error. We'll look into this alpha and beta again. This is normal distribution curve. This is the range. Mean plus minus 1 standard deviation, mean plus minus 2 standard deviation. But instead of this 95.45%, for the simplicity, we may use the word 95%. And in various study, when you want to very improve your the significance or improve your study power, at that time you may go for 99.73%, more than 2 standard deviation. Instead of that, you are taking more than 3 standard deviation. So this we are not going to go, group data, etc. And now summarizing the thing. So today what we want to convey, the first thing is you should have some kind of data with you tomorrow. If possible, try to analyze with epiinfo. And while I wait for some time for you to respond, I'll just give you a break for 2-3 minutes and try to find out some questions which you would like to ask. I will come back again after 2-3 minutes. So I just wanted to show you the uh, analysis or logistic regression, which hardly take few things. You need to give the correct one. That was the only point. So you can look at this data. The cabbage or this issue is 1, coffee is 0.7, male, female 0.2. That means is a reverse way. That means females are more affecting. And vanilla, yes, 32 odds ratio. And look at the p-value 0.000. So vanilla is more important in causing the problem, illness compared to rest of things. Yes, females are more affected. You can see over here 0.04, but rest of the things are not. So together, what we did over here in logistic regression, we selected logistic, selected the illness. I'm showing this because there are so many variables in real life. And at that time, we should be able to compare many things together. And then vanilla. So it automatically gives a comparative value along with this. Now this is removing the each other side. The synergistic and antagonistic effect it is removing. And then it gives the result. So I end with this, the data analysis. And I tell you you have got a sufficient time to ask the questions. And those who would like to go for the sleep can go, but we'll carry on for a few more minutes till I can answer your questions. The chat there, sir, any suggestion for online journal class worth joining? That's a wonderful idea. Dr. Pallavi suggested online journal club. I think see, we are 60 people. If you consider me and Riddhiben and others, we are around 64, 65 people. So I think it's a good suggestion. And then at least before we end our research session in after 1 month, so at some point of time, we'll start a journal club. We'll read, we'll share the PPT, and then we'll have a critics on each other. So let's, if you take the challenge, sometimes we'll arrange that also. Other thing is the request is to please explain the task to be done in group activity in more detail. So right now, the task which are supposed to do in the group is only one task. Try to assess strength of each other. Just you are 5 members, so the rest of the 4 members try to assess their biodata. You do the introduction, etc. Nothing more than that for tomorrow. So tomorrow's session will move further, and by that time, I expect all of you to use epiinfo at least once, right? And only 2 commands you need to use: frequency and table, not a third command. If you can use these 2 commands, you have learned epidemiology by 25% or so. And tomorrow we'll be working more on the variables, where there's a variable which you can find a proportion, or variable where you can find the mean. Very simple. Once you know the type of variables, then automatically you will know which test is to be applied. So any other question? Anything difficult so far? It's so easy. People did a part and we did an analysis, right? Anything else? So whatever the files are shared to you, you should try to read those files and also try to have a hand on epiinfo.
Sir,
Hmm.
can you please explain again why in the calculation of standard deviation we square the individual numbers and
See,
not take the absolute values?
what happens that suppose your house is in the center, suppose, and you are total 10%, 9% are staying away, 4% on the left side of you, 5% on the right side of you, and all of those are, let's say, at a different kilometers. So what will happen? Say if you measure those distances and make a total of this, left side is a positive, right side is negative. So if make a total, what will happen? Make a total, it will nullify each other. And where epiinfo is not supported by iOS. That is okay, window based it is supported. So what will happen that because of nullification effect, and when you divide, make a total of all these deviations and divided by 9, what will happen? It will nullify.
Sir,
So,
yes, sorry. Yes, sir.
so what will you do that instead of that positive negative, you keep as it is. Then it will not nullify, but then it is known as mean of the deviations. It will not as the standard deviation. So what happens the mean of the deviation? We take a mean of the deviations. That means deviations total divided by the number. But in that case, if you take 1,000 people and if you go for that, then it doesn't give the standard value of that. Let's say plus minus 2 standard deviation covers 95%. That standard value, if you want to have, you need to square it, divide by number of deviations, and then take a root. Then only it gives a standard value. This way is known as standard deviation. And based on standard deviation, we are going to learn about the standard error also. Understood why we don't take a mean deviation, why take standard deviation? Because mean deviation doesn't give that kind of range every time. That is the reason.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And the one person says that how to record the dependent variable to the numeric. Usually what we do in case of the, when you want to do logistic regression, logistic uses 0 and 1. So you compare, yes, you can compare into 1 and no, you convert into 0. That's how we can convert into that. And there's a command in epiinfo which is known as assign command. All those commands we are not going to learn. We are going to learn basically the means, the tables, frequency. These are the 3 commands. And if required, maybe regression, we are likely to use it. The rest of the thing, I will suggest you the manual of epiinfo, which is so thick and it gives a lot of details. And that those who are youngsters, I'm having an age of 62 years. But the youngsters less than 30 years, 35 years, they go through the whole manual and then progress much more than what I have, right? Any other question? So I think everybody.
Sir,
Yes.
excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, epiinfo can calculate all the datas of qualitative data. I mean, does
See, basically the word qualitative is so misnomer. Na? Basically, when you say that only we use the 2 words, qualitative and quantitative, as far as the data is concerned. So if you are black or white, you are yellow or red, you are just saying in terms of the description.
yes or no?
From where you cannot find out the mean. But when you have something like height, weight, etc., you can find out mean. Now, what happens when a number of pairs, number of person? In that case, also you can find out the mean. Although it is not a continuous variable, it's a discrete variable, you can find out the mean. So what we say that as far as analysis is concerned, when you have a something like proportion, right? 10 types of result, clear cut. For example, grade A, B, C, like that. Then you go for tables command. When you can find out mean, height, weightage, you go for the means command. That's all. So this is what on that type of variables we'll be doing analysis. See, there are lots of, we will talk about non-parametric tests also, where with a very small data, only 10 or 15. And it's not a large data. Still in a clinical trials, we need to use that. So although a bit difficult, non-parametric tests also are going to take few tests so that those who are clinician in the group can use data for that. Even if you have 5 cancer patients, even if you have 2 renal transplant, it's not that you can't use this kind of the analysis. Instead of parametric, we go for non-parametric. Any other question?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So I hope that all of you have installed the software epiinfo, and you will take the data, Excel data. What happened in the error which I show? No, basically the data I was collecting from somewhere else. So there are various folders of epiinfo. if you don't choose a particular folder and you try to find file somewhere else, then it may not support you. So in that case, what I did that I located the file at a particular point where epiinfo will analyze, then it did give an analysis. And all the output which we had, no frequency and tables, etc., that was stored at some particular location. That location is known as output 13, output 14, like that. That also we need to find out and go to the epiinfo folder and find out. Except that there's nothing more difficult in that.
Hello.
Please.
Yes, sir. Can you please explain the second group task?
Well, what is that? You can write, you can spell out what is that.
Yeah. Just a minute. Distribution of country or state or district for the purpose of multicentric research study, collaboration and comparison of data, ecological correlation.
You have a liberty to select 60 countries of your liking, right? From
Okay.
the database of the world. Then assign the country to each one of them. You can assign something France, you can give to the Japan, you can give some China, like that. And then what will happen? That whatever the good things in their country, their health system, their statistics, their projects, etc., those people through the Facebook or let's say Instagram, etc., they will try to connect. They will try to write to the health minister of China. Would like to connect with you. Would you like to associate with us? So out of 60 countries, even 6 countries gives a response. That is a boon for our group. And then state, we have around, let's say 30 or 35 states are there. Then for each 2 person, you assign one test. Let's say you are from, let's say Delhi. Then Delhi is given to 2 person. Then Tamil Nadu given to 2 person. So across the state, we'll be writing to the health ministry, and then the agriculture ministry will talk about organic farming. So the sky is the limit. So health is affected by various, and so purpose of this group is not to learn only epidemiology and then the statistics and the research, but we want to apply in the real life situation so that the people's life improves, health improves. That's the reason. So you can distribute the states, and as far as district is concerned, you can say given 1 or 2 districts of the same state from where they are you have assigned. So if you can't think at a state level, at least you can talk the district level collectors or the DHO or like that. You can say that we are learning statistics and epidemiology under the People's Health and Development Trust. We would like to communicate with you. At least can you give us few data for the purpose of analysis? It will be very helpful for you. And we are ready to teach your EMOs, the epidemic medical officer, we are ready to teach your CDHOs, etc., if they want to learn it. And then start training those people in the districts, right?
Yeah.
So anything else?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So I think this is the time to leave. And you should remember that your journey is going to be very good, and very simple things are there. The WHO has given you very simple software, and whatever data you have, try to collect the data in Google form or epiinfo form, whatever is there. We might have, if someone is a time, we may talk about the EPI Collect. EPI Collect is a mobile app through which you can collect the data like a Google form. But that's up to you how to collect the data. epiinfo will give the analysis. I think we should stop recording now, and recorded videos in this session will be available to all of you from our YouTube after a few days. Our YouTube is Human Health Circle. And I hope that you will have by now installed